Let us pray. On this great day of celebration and achievement, we give thanks for the opportunities of study and research and the sharing of experience and learning, for the family and friends who have supported us in difficult times and encouraged us to achieve our goals. Bless all our graduates today as they journey forth from here to their different places and countries of work. Inspire those who will promote greater understanding of our physical world and the workings of the human body. Those who will use their gifts to improve the welfare of all humanity and care for those in need. May our graduates find strength as they use their newfound wisdom and skill for the relief of suffering and the conquest of disease. May they use their gentleness and compassion to nurse the sick and care for the dying. May blessing be upon all our graduates as they give generously of their time in the service of others. And may they go forth with a bold and daring spirit to meet whatever challenge lies ahead. Amen.
I call upon the principal to address this assembly.
Those were the first words spoken by our new Chancellor in her new role, so I think we should actually start with a round of applause for our new Chancellor in a new era. Thank you. And let me add my welcome to all of you. It's fantastic to see the Caird Hall full of people, full of expectation, full of the air of celebration that graduation here in the city of Dundee and the University of Dundee is all about. And so those of you who are visiting Dundee for the first time, let me extend an especially warm welcome on behalf of the city and the University of Dundee. You've arrived in one of 2018's must-visit places around the world. And that's not by our reckoning, but it's a status that has been accorded to the city by no less than the Wall Street Journal, A Lonely Planet, CNN and The Guardian, and many other commentators. So, congratulations by being thoroughly on trend as graduates from a university in one of the world's most sought-after destinations. These are indeed exciting times for the city and a sign that we are firmly on the rise. Much of this excitement, of course, has grown around the opening of V&A Dundee, housed in Kengo Kumar's magnificent building at the heart of the £1 billion waterfront development. What you may not know is that this was an idea that first originated here at the University of Dundee more than a decade ago, the idea to bring the V&A to the city. And throughout that time, we've worked with local and national partners to make it happen. And it's a project that is already transforming the city. And that, of course, is the core of our mission as a university and our belief in transformation. We aim to transform lives by the creation, sharing, and application of knowledge. At the forefront of that idea are you, our students, and soon to be our graduates. And I hope that in your years here, you've experienced that sense of transformation. And it's particularly poignant at this moment in time as you will very shortly cross the stage and see that transformation coming into reality. You will have gained new knowledge and skills that you can now take into the world. You will have found new friends. You may even have found life partners. You cross the stage today with the next stage of your lives before you. And I hope that your time here at Dundee has equipped you to take that step with confidence and in a spirit of adventure, to be bold, creative, and to be innovative, and to make your own impact. This is the most important day in our academic calendar. Seeing you, our new graduates, cross the stage after years of dedication and hard work is a proud moment for us all, as I'm sure it is for all of you and for the family and friends here to support you today. And we hope you remain part of our community as alumni after you leave this hall today. We are proud to have been able to offer teaching and a student experience which is consistently ranked among the very best in the United Kingdom. In the inaugural Teaching Excellence Framework, the assessment of teaching quality for UK universities, Dundee was awarded the gold standard, the highest possible standard. And that's a testament to the staff of this university who work and are dedicated to the experience that you as students have. It's also a testament to the partnership that we have with you as students, particularly through Dundee University Students Association, which does a fantastic job in partnership with my team and our staff to make and shape that experience in the way that you want it to happen. So that's part of the secret of success and what I think will help to shape and develop and evolve the university and the experience that students have into the future. But our research also creates impact around the world, from discovering new drugs to tackle diseases like malaria and African sleeping sickness, to shaping policy for nurses and midwives around the world. From groundbreaking technology needed to deliver the next generation of the Large Hadron Collider, the world's largest experiment, to the work of our social scientists with street kids in African cities. And closer to home, work published just this week on protecting rugby players from head injuries, which has gone viral across the media. But what distinguishes Dundee is the commitment to integrating these qualities in teaching, research, and our impact on the world to provide the best student experience possible. And because of this, you, our graduating students, are amongst the best equipped graduates for the world of work. And that's why this university ranks in the top 10 of UK universities in terms of graduate employability. Now, our community, and it is a community here in the university, and a community within a community in the city and region, that community is increasingly an international one. And our roots are distinctly Scottish, but we work on a global stage. We have students and alumni and staff who come to Dundee from over 140 different countries, which astonishingly is about 3/4 of the countries of the world. Almost as good as the record of our rector, who cycled around the world on at least on 2 occasions at increasing speeds. I'm not sure how many of those countries you noticed as you were flying through them, Mark, but I think you, as much as anybody, brings that sort of spirit of adventure and the international context of the university to life in the work that you do. We have record numbers of applications now to come and study here. We have distance learners everywhere from the United States to Kenya to New Zealand, and we have pioneering partnerships with universities in China, Singapore, and elsewhere. And it's clear that our outlook now will be ever more international into the future. Many of the nationalities that make up our community will undoubtedly be represented in the hall today. And that, I think, brings a sense of colour to the ceremony itself. Every one of these achievements is driven by the strong sense of community that exists here. And I hope you've experienced that yourselves during your studies with us. And I hope you continue to feel part of it in the years to come. Because at the University of Dundee, community is central to our strategy. It's at the heart of everything we do. And our graduates are an important part of that community. Successful communities are diverse communities. That's why the international context and our widening access success and achievements are important because it brings students from diverse backgrounds with diverse cultures into the university community, and that enriches and supports the community and helps it to achieve the successes it has been noted for over the years. As global ambassadors with a lifelong membership of the University of Dundee, though, you should always consider that this is your university, wherever you come from and wherever you go to in your lives and careers. So I hope you take pride in that membership and share your passion for the university and connection to the city of Dundee in the years ahead. And hopefully everyone visiting for today's ceremony can take the opportunity to see a little more of the city itself while you're here. Maybe even spread the word about Dundee when you're back at home. As you receive your degrees and then step out into the world as a graduate and ambassador for the University of Dundee, know that we, your university community of fellow graduates, students and staff, wishes you the very best for the future. Now, on this occasion, I share something with all of you, and that is that very shortly, I, as you, will be leaving the university, and I will begin a new phase of my life just as you begin a new phase of your lives. And so this is the last time I have the privilege of giving this speech at graduation. It's not the same speech every time, by the way, every year, but the occasion of this speech will not be repeated again by me. And of course, as many of you know, that because I retire at the end of this year, at the end of the calendar year, at the end of December. And in 10 years as principal, I haven't missed a single one of the 90 degree ceremonies there have been in this great hall during this time. And that's not a boast, there's a very good reason for it. It's because graduation has always been my favorite time. It's a perfectly self-indulgent thing that I haven't missed any of those graduation ceremonies. Because it never fails to remind me of why those of us who work in our universities are so committed to what we do. It's inspiring to see so many lives transformed and joyful to see your success witnessed by your friends, family, and the dedicated staff of the university. Now, hanging in my office is a photograph taken by the Observer photographer Michael Pito, who donated much of his work to the university when his son was an undergraduate here. And one of those pictures is of a very young Nelson Mandela. It was taken long before his emergence as a freedom fighter against apartheid and his imprisonment and eventual triumph as the first black president of South Africa. With most of his life still to come, that portrait inspires me to think of the potential of young people. And I think of this image every year as graduating students cross the stage, and it's very much in my thoughts this morning. It's been an enormous privilege for me to serve as your principal. And when I look back in the future, my heart will return to this hall and the enormous potential etched into the faces of each and every graduand who has crossed the stage during these 10 years. So my final message to graduating students is simply this: go out into the world, achieve your potential, and be extraordinary. Thank you.
I call upon Dr. Linda Martindale from the School of Nursing and Health Sciences.
Chancellor, before the nursing graduands are presented, I will ask them to assent to a declaration that they will maintain traditional standards of professional conduct. Will the nursing graduands please stand? I solemnly promise to use, to the best of my knowledge and ability, the art and science of my profession for the good of those under my care, and to make the preservation and restoration of their health my constant aim. I shall keep secret anything I see or hear in my practice that should not be divulged. I shall constantly endeavour to improve my knowledge and skills within my profession and to share useful discoveries with my fellow practitioners, whom I promise to hold in fraternal regard. These things I shall do for the benefit of those whom I seek to serve and for the honour of the profession that I now join. Do you make this promise? Thank you.
I call upon the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences, Professor Lynn Kilbride.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present, for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Carol Burns. Caroline Peat. Mary Priest. Chloe Adam. Matiat Adamo. Katie Allen. Chloe Anderson. Rebecca Anderson. Craig Anthony. Hannah Armstrong. Lindsay Bain. Rebecca Bannister. Danielle Barr. Rebecca Bell. Jamie Beveridge. Leanne Both. Hayley Bowman. Amanda Jane Brown. Gillian Brown. Hannah Brown. Janie Brown. Sharon Brown. Hayley Bruce. Rachel Burden. Zoe Caird. Katie Caldwell. Daniel Callahan. Kirsty Campbell. Nikki Campbell. Yana Cardwell. Claire Cathro. Claire Chalmers. Rebecca Chambers, Zoe Cherry, Ashley Clark, Jennifer Clark, Kelsey Clark, Donna Cleary, Kirsty Cleland, Kelly Cochran, Vanessa LaForce, Anita Conway, Amy Cook, Kerry Kirstorfen, Zara Cousins, Chloe Croskery, Suzanne Cruikshank, Susan Cumming, Shannon Curry, Alicia Kushney, Courtney Cuthbert, Lauren Davis, Kaylee Dewar, Mada Din, Rebecca Ditchburn, Kathleen Divers, Megan Dobbs, Janine Docherty, Phoebe Docherty, Lucy Donaghy, Laura Donnelly, Bethany Dow, Heather Downey, Coral Dunleavy, Megan Eastby, Nicola Eaton, Lana Edgar, Amy Ferrier, Lauren Fraser, Shannon Fraser, Michelle Garden, Susan Garden, Mary Garland, Emer Goodman, Kelly Jane Goodser, Louise Gove, Emma Gow, Deborah Gowing, Abigail Graham, Rachel Graham, Rachel Grattan, Catherine Gray, Elise Gregg, Jamie Griffin, Lisa Gunning. Nicola Hale. Christine Hamilton. Shawnee Hamilton. Leanne Hampton. Sinead Handley. Caitlin Haslett. Sasha Hawkes. Rachel Haxton. Ellie Henderson. Nicola Henderson. Jessica Hallcroft. Damien Hook. Nicola Hughes. Sophie Hunter. Saskia Jansen. Terry Japp. Rebecca Jolly. Gary Jordan. Laura Keenan. Megan Kelly. Iona Kemp. Catherine Kerr. Hefzibah Kettles. Selena King. Tanisha King. Lauren Kirkpatrick. Hannah Knox. Gemma Lang. Sarah Leatham. Michelle Leslie. Dion Lithgow. Ashleen Luffran. Catherine Lowe. Lauren MacDonald. Isla MacDonald French. Ailey Mackay. Hazel McKee. Kirsty McVicker. Jodie Maggs. Hannah Malone. Carmen Marr. Emma Mason. Eltimal Matthew. Morgan Mochlin. Amy McCann. Jessica McCardle. Orla McCartan. Lauren McCaw. Rory McConaughey. Erin Erin McCrossan, Lauren MacDonald, Leanne McGovern, Ailey McGrath, Stacey MacDonald, Kelsey McInerney, Mary McInnes, Alexandra McIntyre, Kirsty McIntyre, Rona Mackay, Gavin McKenzie, Stacey McNaughton, Shannon McNeil, Aoife McTaggart, Jennifer Menzies, Tammy Ann Michi, Rianne Miller, Mary Mitchell, Sarah Morrison, Hayley Mullen, Abigail Murray, Claudette Murray, Shannon Napier, Marie Navratilova, Beverly Nazareth, Erin O'Neill, Jade Ogilvie, Laura Ogilvie, Niamh Palframan, Lindsay Patty, Lindy Pearson, Orla Pettigrew, Tara Pettigrew, Rebecca Pope, Shona Power, Laurie Robbins, Ellie Robertson, Ellie Rogers, Stephen Ross, Sophie Russell, Abby Rutherford, Jennifer Rutherford, Helen Sawyers, Lucy Seaton, Rebecca Shanks, Iona Sharp, Katie Shepherd, Emma Shields, Jenna Short, Lauren Smart, Amy Smith, Ellie Smith. Kieran Smith. Savannah Smith. Shan Smith. Caitlin Smythe. Orla Smythe. Louise Stephen. Nikki Stewart. Petra Stewart. Caitlin Stoves. Jana Tennant. Amy Thomas. Alan Thompson. Carrie Todd. Thomas Turner. Sebastian Bibera. Constance Walker. Erin Wallace. Georgia Wallace. Jill Wardrobe. Connor Watson. Rachel Watt. Jade Weatherly. Matthew Weir. Erin Wells. Kimberly Weems. Kirsten Westwood. Lauren Whitelaw. Cameron Wilson. Haley Wilson. Adam Wood. Ailey Wood. Kimberly Young. Megan Adams. Rebecca Lee Balance. Sophie Bongiorno. Kelly Boyle. Shannon Kant. Laura Connolly. Nicole Connolly. Trisha Cooper. Caitlin Cunningham. Ellen Eastlake. Debbie Folarunshaw. Ashley Garland. Lauren Hay. Emily Jones. Jessica Kelly. Dana Khan. Lucy Kilbane. Megan Little. Haley McKennell. Lindsay McEwen. Chloe McNeese. Alexandra McNeil, Victoria Middleton, Sarah Nielsen, Nicole Ord, Ellie Reid, Erin Samuels, Sophie Scott, Juliet Small, Sophie Todd, Nicole Watt, Samantha White, Kate Alexander, Tom Anderson, Connor Bickett, Medina Bojang, Sarah Brett, Jessica Clark, Ashley Crosby, Hayley Cura, Michael Duffy, Catherine Dunn, David Fagan, Stevie Faulkner, Julia Ferguson, Ben Glancy, Lucy Harvey, Paul Heron, Stephanie Hunt, Marvin Jack, Alva Keeney, Sarah Lander, Sarah Larkin, Vanessa Lees, Laurie Lowe, Lynn McKenzie, Jessica Macy, Stephen MacDonald, Michelle McEwen, Morag McRobbie, Emma Milton, Wangai Musemama, Catherine Patterson, Brogan Paul, Rachel Paul, Rosemary Quinn, Emma Ross, Carla Shaw, Dean Skinner, Wendy Smith, Rebecca Springthorpe, Leanne Sweeney, Leanne Walker, Philippa Watson, Caroline Winterton, For the award of Postgraduate Certificate in Infection Prevention and Control, Tanya Matthews. Postgraduate Diploma in Nursing, Julie Gereshik. Master of Nursing, Barbara Moger. Marissa Alexis. Nadine Edinburgh Edwards. Sally Palmer. Antonella Alul. Tabona Bailey. Jessica Benion. Rebecca Fortune. Bronya McEwen. Gemma Messenger. Kerry Perry. Falak Ahmad. Daniel McGee.
Congratulations. I call upon the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. No, I've got the wrong one. Beg your pardon. I call upon Professor Rami Aboud from the School of Medicine.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the degree of Master of Dental Public Health, Zainab Kidwai. And for the Master of Forensic Odontology, Ibn Karajan. And for the Master of Research, Hanan Ahmed. And for the Master of Science, Farouk. Rawat Kak. Aziyati Zikir. Al-Bashir Al-Zawi. And for the Doctor of Philosophy, Thomas Lamont. And for the Bachelor of Medical Science, Jack Bruce. For the Postgraduate Certificate in Medical Education, Rabia Khan. Karen Meany. Nikki Morgan. Andrew Taylor. And for the Postgraduate Certificate in Medical Education for General Practitioners, Louise Rankin. And for the Postgraduate Certificate in Simulation-Based Education for Safe Clinical Practice, Charlotte Fairley. And for the Postgraduate Diploma in Diabetes Care, Education and Management, Sajjad Chowdhury. And for the Master of Medical Education, Asma Naki. Muhammad Qazi. Inam Zia. And for the Master of Public Health, Sultan Al-Annaz. Petronella Chitalu. Shona Craig. Huriyaratu Dahir. Eberici Eki. Grace Kayola. Piyosha Patel. Benzir Siddiqui. Ali Stewart. And for the Master of Research, Efrosini Antonopoulou. Haley Grieve. Kimberly Morrison. Karen Sandman. Courtney Watt. Mang Zhu. And for the Master of Science, Rosini Kiyuzuzu. Ana Fiol Fernandez. Daminola Francis. Alia Ismail. Nicole Lobo. Lumeta Nagalande. Chancellor, I'm going to struggle with the next one. I'm really going to struggle, and I need some help here. I need someone who's been here for 90 times to help me with the name. Can I ask the principal to join me on stage? Right. Thanks, Principal.
All right, he's leaving it to me, and my suggestion is that the next candidate should read her name out. It's a brilliant name.
Ung-Napao ที่สุทธิเมธาวี
Thanks, Principal. Much appreciated. And for the Doctor of Medicine, Richard Stephen. And for the Doctor of Philosophy, Naif Dahran. Salvatore Smyrny. Aaron Verma.
Can I call on the principal, please?
Chancellor, I have the honour to invite you to confer their degrees in absence upon the candidates who have been unable to attend this ceremony.
By the authority of the Senate, I confer these degrees.
So we come now to a part of the ceremony which is, I think, very much Dundee's own approach to creating that sense of celebration in the community of graduates and their families and friends here today. And that requires you to move from a situation in which you are politely applauding your fellows, your colleagues, your relatives across the stage to one in which you join collectively and make as much noise as you can. Now, as I pointed out earlier on, this is my very last of 90 ceremonies. So, and there's been some pretty amazing cheers that we've had in the past, as many on this stage will vouch for. But this has really got to be the one, the special one. So I'm really counting on you to stamp your feet, shout, whistle, get the babies sort of crying loudly, or whatever else is out there, but do your very best to show me what a fantastic place Dundee is and has been for you. Congratulations to all of you.
We now come to a teaching award. I call upon the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences, Professor Lynn Kilbride.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Chancellor's Award for Outstanding Contribution to Teaching, John Lee. For 10 years, John has held the role of programme leader for one of the largest undergraduate programmes in the university, nursing. Today, you have graduated from one of the best nursing schools in Scotland, although I am a little biased. But we are one of the top 100 in the world. And that is down to the leadership and learning and teaching that John has shown many of us here. John has made us a significant contribution to having a really good level of student satisfaction, helped us with widening access, and has contributed to nursing more nationally. John has recently left us, sadly, to do a secondment in Scottish Government, but I believe that position has been given to John because of his massive contribution to us here at the University of Dundee in terms of teaching and learning. So John, congratulations for an honour well deserved. Thank you very much and enjoy today.
As Chancellor, I confer upon you the Chancellor's Award in recognition of outstanding achievement in contributions to teaching. Many congratulations. I call upon Vice Principal Wendy Alexander to present the honorary graduand for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Christina Lamb. Christina is one of Britain's leading foreign correspondents and a best-selling author. She grew up near Croydon with a strong sense of adventure. And despite being suspended from her grammar school for pranks like putting a family of plastic ducks on the school pond, she went on to win a place at Oxford and became the first in her family to go to university. Her professional journey began 30 years ago, when at just 21, she left England to attend a wedding in Karachi. It led to her spending the next 2 years in the hills in Peshawar with the Mujahideen, who were then fighting the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan. And over the 3 decades since then, Christina has reported on wars from Iraq to Libya to Angola to Syria. She has exposed repression from Eritrea to Zimbabwe. The light relief has come from reporting natural disasters, lost tribes, and unmasking organized crime in South America. But throughout all of this, her passion has remained Pakistan and Afghanistan. And truly, her experiences read like episodes from Homeland. I even think she looks a little like Carrie, but let me tell you about what happened. 2001, deported from Pakistan for exposing covert operations by rogue elements in the Pakistani military intelligence. 2006, caught in a Taliban ambush with British troops in Helmand. 2007 in Peshawar, her hotel suicide bombed. And on the evening when she was meant to be at her then 7-year-old son's parents' night, she was on a bus in Pakistan with Benazir Bhutto when it was blown up in the country's largest ever bomb. So Christina has been fearless in the face of danger, disease, and despots. And this commitment over the years has won her 14 major awards, including being named Foreign Correspondent of the Year a remarkable 5 times and winning Europe's top award for war correspondence. And so it is particularly fitting that we are honouring Christina in a week when we have been commemorating the centenary of the First World War. In 2016, when Christina visited us here at the university, she described her own journey from a self-confessed war junkie to a devoted mother. And in the very hard-bitten world of war correspondence, Christina's trademark is her compassion. She tells the untold stories of people and places that others don't visit. She chronicles the human consequences of the conflict. And she has done this in 8 landmark books, each of which is passionate, powerful, and poetic. And like those war poets of a century ago, it is through her witness that we have come to better understand the conflicts of our own time. Let me share with you just a couple of examples. In 2013, she collaborated with Malala. Malala, of course, was the brave girl who stood up to demand education for girls in Afghanistan and was shot by the Taliban. Christina Malala co-authored I Am Malala, which was translated into 40 languages and sold over 2 million copies. In 2015, Christina was awarded Amnesty International's prize for reporting from the inside of detention centres in Libya. In 2016, another award for her reporting on the Chibok girls in Nigeria who were abducted by Boko Haram. 2017, she won the UNHCR award for her writing on refugees. Particularly, she's written about the stories of child refugees disappearing in Europe. She highlighted the plight of the Yazidi women who were abducted and kept as sex slaves by ISIS. And she's currently finishing her latest book, which is on rape as a weapon of war and the hard fight for justice by those women. And so Christina has illuminated the world's dark corners. She is herself an inspirational speaker. She's given talks all over the world to everyone from generals at NATO to even ladies' meetings. She magazine named her as one of Britain's most inspirational women, and Grazia called her an icon of the decade. And she was awarded an OBE for her services to journalism. Christina lives in London with her family, and we are absolutely delighted to welcome her husband Paolo and her son Lorenzo here today. Can you please welcome Paolo and Lorenzo who are with us today? When Paolo and Christina got married, fittingly in Zanzibar, their honeymoon almost ground to an end because an editor wanted her to go to the Balkans and report on the bombing of Belgrade. Christina, however, has described Lorenzo, her son here today, as her proudest achievement. And so I suspect there are some of you in the audience now asking yourself the question, why on earth does she do all this? And in a few moments, we may get a glimpse. But Christina has bravely and publicly wrestled with the question of whether bearing witness to the world's greatest atrocities is enough. And Chancellor, in awarding this degree today, this university and this assembly will be emphatically saying yes to Christina's 30 years of witness. We will be affirming that the power of the pen does ultimately triumph over the power of the sword. And in honouring Christina's witness, we will also be giving thanks for our own chance to study here in Dundee, free from war, from persecution, and for the right to free speech and free assembly and to speak our minds. I want to end with Christina's most recent book, The Girl from Aleppo. It tells the story of a Kurdish teenager, Nujeen Mustafa, who had cerebral palsy and cannot walk. As a young person, she was trapped in a fifth-floor apartment in Aleppo, unable to go to school, and she taught herself to speak English by watching the American soap operas. When civil war engulfed Aleppo, Nujeen and her family fled. They escaped to Turkey, from where they joined thousands of displaced people on that journey to Europe. There was, of course, the terrifying trip across the Mediterranean, other passengers in the dinghy wondering whether they should toss out the wheelchair. Nujeen came through it all and reached Europe, pushed by her sister, and they finally reached Germany and the education and the medical treatment she needed. In this book, Christina puts a human face on the global refugee crisis. But what Christina does not know is that over the last 2 days, across this stage, we have graduated our first group of Dundee humanitarian scholars. Every one of them a refugee or a displaced person. And earlier this morning, one of the graduates that you clapped across the stage had a story that is remarkably similar to Nujeen's. He also was born near Aleppo, and he commuted there each week into the besieged city to study dentistry. He then won postgraduate studies in the United States and he travelled to Lebanon to secure a visa for those studies. The visa was denied. So unable to return to Syria, he also fled to Turkey, and from there by dinghy to Greece, and then that nightmarish 30-day walk through the Balkans to Germany. When he was in Germany, a friend emailed him the web page for Dundee's new humanitarian scholarship scheme, and he came here to study in September 2017. He excelled at his studies, he gained a distinction, and he has won a scholarship to do doctoral studies here at Dundee. He's currently awaiting Home Office immigration clearance to begin his doctorate here. His subject was the study of forensic dentistry and facial reconstruction. And he chose this because he wants to return home and introduce forensic dentistry and those skills to help identify the millions in Syria who have been killed, are missing, or are now in mass graves in that civil war, and for whom there are no formal records, and so play his part in building the peace in that war-torn country. And so today, we salute Christina for all she has done to tell literally thousands of such refugee stories. And so, Chancellor, I have the great honour to invite you to confer upon Christina Lamb the degree of Doctor of Laws. Thank you.
Wow, I'm used to talking about other people, not being talked about myself. So thank you for that, Wendy. A very flattering address. And I don't know about me being inspiring, but the story we just heard about the dental student from Aleppo, I think is truly inspiring. So I can't tell you. I can't tell you what a great honour this is for me. As Wendy said, I was the first person in my family to go to university. I'm too excited. And I'm very much the first person in my family to get an honorary degree. My mother's a bit baffled by the idea of getting a degree without actually having done any essays or exams, but it's great. And I feel very honoured to have two chancellors here at the ceremony, and also to get the degree from this super cool city, and to hear about this scholarship scheme for refugees. I think only goes to show that this is such a cool university to get a degree from. So congratulations to all of you who are graduating or post-graduating, particularly the nurses who I gather make the most noise. So I can honestly say that university changed my life. It made me feel that anything was possible. And I'm very proud that my own son is studying just down the road from here. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to name the other university. I don't think I really appreciated what university had to offer when I was there, as probably like many of you, I was trying to cram in so many other things which didn't always involve studying. I actually started off doing chemistry, and I switched to PPE, politics, philosophy, and economics, much to my mother's horror, particularly when she saw that I was doing essay subjects like, can sheep have religious beliefs? And can a geranium have a point of view? She couldn't see what use that would be. She would have been much happier if I'd been doing dentistry or medicine or nursing. You're graduating in much more useful subjects. But it was actually at university that I discovered journalism. The first story I ever did was about a student who'd got hit in the eye by a champagne cork. So very important stuff. I went into reporting war by accident, and I've always, as Wendy said, focused on the human side. It seems to me the real heroes in war are the people that are trying to protect, feed, and educate their children under fire, and that's usually the women. Some of you may be under the mistaken impression that being a foreign correspondent is a glamorous life. So I want to just tell you a story from something that happened actually almost exactly a year ago, which was when Zimbabwe's longtime dictator, Robert Mugabe, was removed from power. And he'd been arrested overnight. Tanks had come out on the streets and surrounded the airport and the TV station. So all of us journalists got phone calls from our editors telling us to jump on planes. And this general had appeared on television saying, "This is not a military coup." Well, we don't get military coups very often these days, so everybody was very excited at the idea of a good old-fashioned military coup. So we all rushed to the airport. And I was there with the Mail, the Guardian, Independent, various TV. And we were a little bit worried because journalists are not welcome in Zimbabwe, particularly British journalists. And when we arrived in Johannesburg on the way, we all got a message to say that the Times correspondent had been refused entry. So the others were all saying to me, "You go to Zimbabwe a lot, how are we going to get in?" So I said, well, I was go undercover. In fact, we journalists were known to locals in Zimbabwe as bird watchers. And we used to speak in code to our editors. So when we spoke about Mugabe, we referred to him as the Yorkshireman because Mugabe backwards is Ibagum. So I showed the other journalists my fake travel itinerary for my holiday in Zimbabwe and my Lonely Planet guide, and my very silly orange straw hat. So then I went off to get coffee before boarding the plane onto Zimbabwe. When I get on the plane, the only other people on the plane are British journalists, and every single one of them was wearing a funny straw hat. Anyway, we got in. So throughout my career, I've found that life often throws unexpected things at you. And though in some ways I believe you make your own luck, I also believe very strongly that when you're given luck, you need to be able to ride it. And I'm a great believer in what the American poet Robert Frost called the road not taken. Now, clearly, some of the roads I've taken have been to dangerous places, which I don't necessarily recommend. In fact, I fly to places that normal people are leaving. Wendy asked why I do it. That's actually quite easy. Although my job makes me go to places where I see the absolute worst of humanity, you also see the best. And what keeps me going is the resilience of the people that I meet in these places. You heard about Nujeen and Malala, both of whom are not only brave and inspirational, but actually also warm, funny human beings. And it was great to get to know them as normal people. Nujeen and her sister are football mad and fight all the time over who's better, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, Malala and her brother fight over everything. In fact, when Malala was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, my son over there said, "Mummy, how can Malala win the Nobel Peace Prize? She's always fighting with Kushal." So I've been lucky to meet some really amazing women. Hillary Clinton, I think you saw on the picture, and she said to me, I met her just after she'd lost to Donald Trump, and she said, "Everyone gets knocked down. What matters is whether you get up and keep going." Though she also admitted it helped drinking a lot of Chardonnay, doing yoga, and kicking things. No offense to Hillary, but actually some of the most inspiring people I've met are ones you probably never heard of. The women under siege in Aleppo who took furniture and burnt it in order to keep their children warm, and made their children pancakes of fried flour and herbs that they'd grown because there was no food. In the last few months, I've met a Bosnian woman who survived multiple rape and now hunts down war criminals. And I've just come back from Argentina, where every Thursday for 42 years, grandmothers have come out in the square and protested, demanding to know what happened to their grandchildren who were stolen during the military dictatorship as babies and brought up by the very secret police who tortured and killed their parents. So far, they've managed to recover 129 of those children who are now adults. In Kabul, I got to know a wonderful group of kids called the Guitar Girls, who are actually street children who survived suicide bombings which killed their siblings. And one of them told me that learning to play the guitar was like finding a yellow flower among the rubble. And it seems to me sometimes it takes living in a war zone to realize it's too easy to get bogged down in things that don't really matter, like a train not turning up or someone saying something we didn't like to us, and not notice the beauty of things that really do matter. Indeed, graduating in an impressive place like this takes on a whole new meaning when you've been to places where young people literally risk their lives to be able to go to school or college. I was thinking as you were coming up on the stage, many of you in your short skirts and high heels, and remembering my mum telling me, you can't dress like that for graduation. And I saying, it's the one time I can. But I graduated in the 1980s when the world seemed a very different place. At that time, of course, there was no internet. You tended to have one career, and we women assumed that the battles for us had already been fought. I think things are very different today. The UK is a very divided country, and these are dangerous times for freedom the world over. Sometimes people compare this to the run-up to the First World War, when it was described as sleepwalking into war. And I worry sometimes that we are one presidential tweet away from a Third World War. We're seeing a wave of populism around the world, and the most powerful leader on earth calling journalists enemy of the people. And I think we mustn't stop being shocked by that. So I'm very happy to hear Dundee's commitment to bringing the news back, because it really feels to me reporting from the ground is more important than at any time in my career. I've been very lucky to have had an interesting life, but I've also learned that life lived well is definitely not about how much money you make or even great shining achievements or awards. I write about things. You actually have the skills to go out and make difference to people. And going back, if I could do something different, I wish that I had those medical skills, because I've often been in places where there was nobody around to help the people, and only me, and I didn't know what to do. But I just want to end with a very small story. Our elderly neighbour, Pat, died just recently. And she didn't have a career as such. She helped in the library of the local primary school. But her smile in the front window of her house lit up my morning every day. And at her funeral, I discovered everybody said the same thing. And it seems to me that the most important thing any of us can do is to make people feel happier that they met us. So go out, good luck, and congratulations to all of you.
So we've recognized many very special people today. Our graduating students, those who have supported them and taught them, John Lee, Christina Lamb, but there's one other person or one couple that I also want to acknowledge. Our Principal and Vice-Chancellor, Pete Downs, as he has already told you, is retiring shortly. This is his 90th degree ceremony in the 10 years he's been principal. 90 not out is a pretty good score. He's led this university to a position of strength. He has pitched the university as Scotland's leading university, and it is. He's also helped the rejuvenation of Dundee through moving the university that way. And I'd also like to acknowledge his wife, Dr. Elizabeth Downs, for her support and her regular position, which many of you may not have noticed, in the jury box over on my extreme left. We wish you both a very long, healthy and happy time together and give you our thanks and best wishes. Thank you, Pete. For me, one of the other delights of graduation ceremonies is the music, and I particularly like choral music. So it's with very great pleasure I now call upon the choir. Which brings us to the end of today's proceedings. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy Dundee, the visitors. I now declare this academic ceremony closed.